Good day, my name is Michiel Smits. I'm a fourth-year part-time PhD researcher in the Architecture department at the Faculty of Architecture and the Built Environment. I'm a lecturer in Architecture and Building Engineering in both Delft and at the Avans University of Applied Science. Moreover, I run my own architecture company and I'm chairing the Back to Africa Foundation, advising development aid organizations in their response. Regular development aid is a problem-oriented industry. Where there is a surplus of human excrements at schools, most of the NGOs build toilets. However, if you don't know how the toilet was built, or you lack the financial means to do so, the toilet will fall into decay. Let's try that from another angle. So if the problem is people lacking water in dry areas, and we think we can solve it by boreholes and water pumps, why do they keep on breaking down? Forcing people to manually retrieve the water, possibly polluting the source. As a pro bono architect in sub-Saharan Africa, my approach from 2004 was no different. Lack of education, build schools. Lack of healthcare, build hospitals. No housing for orphans, build an orphanage. So if this were to be the architectural solutions, why are my projects falling into decay so fast? This was also the starting point of my PhD research. As I realized most of my projects since 2009 on Mount Elgon, Kenya, I decided this would be my study area. For those who have never been in Kenya before, Mount Elgon lies on the western side of Kenya, right on the border with Uganda. Here a huge international flower farm has been realizing social projects for more than 15 years. After multiple case studies in the area, I found that there is a tremendous contrast. That between what the NGOs know, have and are able to articulate into building solutions and those of the inhabitants. Expert interviews and literature review confirmed that the building solutions NGOs offered insufficiently suit the capacities of the community. So what are inhabitant capacities towards their built environment? Do they have easy access to the knowledge how to maintain, extend or replicate the project by themselves? Do they have access to cheap building materials and tools? Do they have the skills or experience to maintain, extend or replicate the project by themselves? And do they have the funds now and in the future to maintain, extend or replicate the project by themselves? To better understand why the majority of the communities on Mount Elgon were not able to build better housing by themselves, I conducted a survey amongst 200 families in 4 communities on Mount Elgon. The survey proved that the majority of the inhabitants does not know how to build their desired housing. The majority would like to learn how to build their desired house. The majority would like to build their house by themselves. But there was only one problem. It is also the inhabitants that desire solutions that do not align with their own capacities. My mission became to find a support tool for designers and engineers which enables them to analyze inhabitant capacities and weigh solutions against these capacities. Moreover, assessing skill levels of inhabitants, strategize trainings and assess effective knowledge transfer in constructing an improved house. Analyzing the state of the art, I was not able to find a support tool that does exactly that. So I started to write a book which step by step helps to evaluate inhabitant capacities via, for example, interviews, observations, board games and much more. To test this support, I set up a semi-experiment on Mount Elgon, advising 4 local families to build an improved house by themselves. Every family received help from one team consisting of an architect and a third-year building engineering student. 3 teams received the support and 1 team was the control group not receiving the support. Over a period of 5 months, the teams researched, designed, engineered and planned improved dwelling for the family. During the building phase, they trained the families how to build the improved dwelling by themselves, enabling them to maintain, extend or replicate the house by themselves. The improvements incorporate many of the existing capacities, such as local natural materials like mud, wood, grass and such, but also existing skill sets and knowledge, such as mixing or compacting. In this way, knowledge adaptation of the improved building technology is easier to acquire and hopefully leads to a long-lasting improvement in the area. Every day, the teams trained the attending family members things like how to measure or how to set perpendicular lines and how to check spirit level, enabling the families to ask questions on the job and improve their understanding of the improved and introduced new way of building. From the other way around, the family members also had many things they could teach and show to the team members, for example, local forms of digging and mixing. The project realized 4 different solutions for 4 completely different families from the same community, enabling them to have an improved house that is close to what they desired, however suiting their capacities. The outcomes to the research prove that the developed framework does improve the inhabitants' self-reliance towards their housing. Moreover, all the improvements and comments by both family and teams will be used to improve the book, hopefully improving the effectiveness for future editions of the Rural Housing Studio. Thank you very much for your attention, and if you are curious about my project and research, please use the following links.